violence or no other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
New this morning, Cedar Rapids police say 2 people are dead following a shooting downtown this morning. It happened at Taboo Nightclub and Lounge. That's at 415 3rd Street Southeast in downtown Cedar Rapids.
Wow, man. Another mass shooting at a nightclub. This time, only 2 people are dead. And that's pretty bad. But compared to 6 in San Francisco at London nightclub, they're actually doing all right, which is sad and scary.
Around 1:30 this morning, officials say approximately 10 more are injured and receiving medical attention at multiple local hospitals. This is video of the scene just a little bit ago this morning. As you can see, some police officers still on the scene, and the scene is taped off. Police say the scene is secure and there is no threat to public safety at the moment. These are photos sent to us from a TV9 viewer. Officials say Cedar Rapids police were on routine downtown patrol when the shooting occurred and responded immediately.
All right, so the police responded immediately, and if you guys aren't aware, there's still not a suspect in custody, but they believe that there are 2 perpetrators, and we can, this is Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So before you jump to conclusions and be like, hey, there aren't super gremlins in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, you got another thing coming.
Police are interviewing witnesses. No word yet on if anyone has been arrested in relation to the shooting. This is an ongoing investigation. Anyone present at the time of the shooting or with knowledge of the incident is encouraged to contact Cedar Rapids Police at 319-286-5491.
Tonight, an Iowa community is reeling after it became the scene of America's latest mass shooting. 2 people are dead and several others injured after gunfire erupted.
And I just want to let you guys understand that this is not getting any media coverage. It was difficult. It was very difficult for me to find any type of story on this, okay? So, it's really it feels like the story's being smothered, okay? And we all know why. Because it doesn't fit the narrative of, crazy whacked out glider with a manifesto running up in there and taking as many as he can. No, it's just super gremlins on demon time.
At a Cedar Rapids nightclub. Now the search is on for whoever pulled the trigger.
This is a senseless act of violence.
Cedar Rapids police.
It's like they get the same script every time. It's a senseless act. Like, dang. Do we know any other word besides senseless?
Are trying to find answers in a terrifying shooting that left 2 people dead and 10 others injured.
Shock, anger, grief, disappointment. Just a few of the emotions that I'm sure we all feel today.
Shots rang out just before bar closed Sunday at the Taboo Nightclub and Lounge. Nearly 150 people packed inside for a 90s-themed party. Then...
Whoa, a 90s-themed party. How many people in there were dressed up as Pop? That's when you got to be like, uh-oh, it might be a little too crazy. You got 32 Tupacs in the venue, and everybody trying to be Pop.
Tragedy struck.
Cedar Rapids police officers were outside the nightclub when they witnessed a rush of individuals exiting the nightclub.
Officers raced to the scene, finding the victims lying on the ground.
The fact they got the hammer in the club and the reason why I think that they were able to get the hammer in the club is because it's a small town. They're not really checking you at a bar like that or a lounge, whatever. Like, I get it, you know? It makes sense why they were able to get the ratchet in the club, because, I mean, who's really checking you at a small lounge like that?
Those hurt were rushed to a nearby hospital. No word on their condition. The search is now on for the shooter or shooters. Cedar Rapids mayor is defending the city's safety, saying the shooting doesn't reflect their values.
This is not who we are. This is not Cedar Rapids.
City leaders praise the swift response from police as the investigation and the healing process get underway. And the club's owner told the Cedar Rapids Gazette that the shooting is extremely disturbing. He said he is cooperating with police.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
At 1:27 a.m., around 150 people inside began rushing out after shots were fired inside the club. Officers entered immediately, finding 2 dead and 10 injured, but no obvious assailants.
Damn.
The shooter or shooters were not immediately identified and may have escaped the scene with the rush of patrons who were leaving the establishment.
They gone. That's wild. They just shot the club up. And this is starting to be, you know, a common occurrence. And honestly, Super Gremlin's really been shooting the club up, but not like they usually been shooting up like the all communita venues, stuff like that, rapper performing, but now it's like any club can get shot up.
Police believe there were at least 2 shooters, but say there is no risk to the city with them at large. They believe the attacks were targeted against one of the victims. Mayor Tiffany O'Donnell gave a statement Sunday afternoon expressing her sympathy towards the victims.
My heart goes out to those moms and dads today who are having the worst day of their lives. To the families of the injured, we are with you, and we are praying for a swift recovery.
Currently, of the 10 people injured, 1 is in critical condition, and the others range from severe to minor injuries. The victims' names have not been released, but police confirmed they are an adult man and woman. The murderers are Cedar Rapids' 4th and 5th homicide in 2022. But according
The 4th and 5th homicide in 2022. So they're doing close to like 1 a month. So that's not that bad, honestly. That's not that bad. If this mass shooting didn't happen, then they would be at 3. So less than 1 a month. But leave it to these super gremlins to increase the murder rate.
to City Council member Dale Todd, there's only so much the city can do alone.
We're at this point in time where, you know, there are a lot of people with guns, both legal and illegal. And we need to, acknowledge that it's an issue, and then acknowledge that we all as a community need to get involved.
Taboo's ownership is cooperating with the investigation.
So you hear him talking about the guns. It's the guns' fault. When are they going to actually get into the reality of the super gremlin? on demon time.
And have taken down their Facebook page. Police say more information on the victims will be released as next of kin is notified.
Police in Cedar Rapids are looking for people responsible for a deadly mass shooting from earlier this morning. 2 people are dead, 1 man, 1 woman. 10 others were injured in the shooting at the Taboo nightclub and lounge. We start out our team.
My man's eyes are super beady. Them joints is like scary.
Coverage with KCRG TV9's Nicole Agee live at the scene along 3rd Street Southeast. Nicole?
Yeah, Phil, this has been a difficult day for so many people. Of course, the families of those who were injured or killed in this shooting, the first responders who responded to this scene early this morning, as well as the dozens who were inside the club at the time, and the community. So many people waking up to that news today with this feeling of shock, grief, and questioning, how could this happen? As you mentioned, Phil, we are on 3rd Street Southeast. This is the corridor that connects downtown Cedar Rapids to the Nubo district. We're next to the map room here to give you a little perspective about where on 3rd Street we are. Taboo is inside the historic Sokol building, the building you see here with Hawk's Nest and the awning here. You can see Cedar Rapids police are off to the side. They're going to remain on scene. I talked to an officer just a few minutes ago. He said they will stay here until the scene is clear. Last night, according to social media promotions, there was a 90s themed party inside when the shooting happened, again taking the lives of 2 people.
Man, and I might go out on a limb and say that this 90s party was thrown by people in the community. The fact that there are super gremlins in Cedar Rapids, Iowa that have ops is crazy. Like, we live in a day and age where everybody wants to have ops. I'm telling you, these super gremlins are on demon time.
And there was a balloon release for one of those victims earlier this evening. One man's nickname was written in candles outside of...
Oh, man. The balloon release. The candle visual. We already know what this is. I mean, what more is there to say, man? We know how this goes. This story is it was so hard for me to even find these local channels who reported on this. But then the Philly leaders on the community outreach gun violence program, right? They don't want you to cover this at all. They don't want any news coverage of what goes on in the community. It's crazy.
Taboo. Police have not released the names of any of the victims, but about 20 friends of one of the loved ones, one of the victims who was killed, gathered tonight to mourn and to honor his memory.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car. I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.